Hello everybody, this is Brian with Vermillion Enterprises. Today is December 8th, 2023. We're not doing a premiums video or a buy it now video right now, although Monday we're going to try to do a large buy it now video. And
did you hear that, people? Monday large buy it now video.
And what is that, December 10th? Or is that December 11th? December 11th, yes. And I'm not sure if I'll do it or if we'll have Tim do it, but we'll definitely do one on December 11th unless there's like some earth-shaking news or some event that's happening. So prepare for that. And there's going to be a good chunk of pre-33 slab gold in there, and what else? A bunch of off-quality eagles and rounds. Cheap rounds will be in there. We'll throw some type coins in there, of course, and everyone's favorite war nickels and 40%. So, but we're always asked, when are you doing your next buy now video? When are you doing it? So Monday will be our next buy now video, unless something cataclysmic happens.
Turn on your notifications. Put it in your calendar.
Right.
I don't want to hear anyone complaining, oh, I missed it. I didn't know.
Yeah, well, that's still going to happen.
Yeah.
All right, so what's the point of this video today? All right, so this week, literally this week, I've had probably 4 or 5, half a dozen or so, new people come into the shop, which is awesome. We greatly appreciate that, who have seen us online in various forms, who have come in and are new to stacking, new to investing, which is awesome. And come in and they say, hey, I want to start investing in gold and silver. And it's like, well, let's back up a little bit. All right, so let's talk about what that actually means. So you don't really invest in gold and silver. Investing is when you put some kind of resource, energy, whatever, into something in which you get back a return, or at least you should be getting back some kind of return. So what is a example of an investment? Let's just take the most basic, a CD or a treasury. And you're going to get 5% on this CD. You put $100 grand in, and 12 months later you're going to have 105 grand. All right, so that's if you got a 5% return, that's an investment. All right, a dividend. You're investing in a company, right? So you invest in, what's your favorite stock, Tim?
Right now, Citizens.
Citizens. All right, Tim loves Citizens. So what's the dividend on that?
It's a good question, but it makes me happy.
Yeah, let's say it's 5%. So Tim puts his money into Citizen stock is it month or quarter that they pay out?
Every quarter.
Every quarter they pay out a dividend. He's invested his money into the Citizen stock, and he gets paid his his quarterly stipend, or whatever you want to call it, of that 5% or whatever that interest is on that dividend. So that's an investment. So what is gold and silver? Gold and silver is a speculation. It's two things. One is it's a speculation. So what do I mean by that? I mean that you come in and you say, today it's December 8th, right? And you're spending $2,000 on an ounce of gold. Well, you're speculating that at some point in time in the future that ounce of gold is going to be worth more than $2,000. You're not getting paid any kind of dividend on it. You're not. There's no guaranteed result that's going to happen from it, right? It's not like you're buying that CD and at the end of the 12 months you're getting X number of dollars back. There's no strategy like that in place. It's literally like it's a gamble almost in one sense. So you're saying, okay, I'm spending $2,000 on this ounce of gold today. Sometime in the near future, I'll be able to sell this for more than $2,000 and make money on it. But the reality is, the complete opposite can happen. So you buy an ounce of gold today for $2,000 and you sell it 3 years from now. Gold legitimately could be, let's say, $1,700. So you could lose $300 on it, and it's actually more than that because you got to take in an inflation on that too. So why buy it then? Well, two reasons. One is you're speculating that it will go up. A lot of people have theories that gold's going to go to X number of dollars, whatever that is. I've heard numbers that are realistic all the way up to the moon. What's the highest number you heard that someone says gold is going to go to, Tim? What some Yahoo on YouTube or what?
This year, I think I saw $5,000. Silver, I see more ridiculous numbers.
Yeah, so I've seen people post that gold's going to $10,000 an ounce. All right, I think that's the highest I've seen. Could it go to $10,000 an ounce? Sure, it'd be chaos in the streets. Place wouldn't be safe to live in. But yes, it could go to $10,000 an ounce. Could gold go back to $1,200 an ounce? Sure. And that's probably more of a likelihood than it going to $10,000 an ounce. I think that's more of a likelihood than it going to $3,000 an ounce. So in that sense, well, why invest in it? Well, the reason why I am a believer in physical metals or physical, just in general, whatever that may be for you, given the nature of our business, that's precious metals for us, is because it's a great tool for diversification. It diversifies your portfolio, and your basket of wealth should include some form of physical as a way to mitigate risk in case the digital world goes away. And Tim's Citizen stock, that's a form of digital investment. Whether we want to say it is or not, it is. So that a button can be pushed and that can just go away.
I thought you were going to talk about my digital baseball cards.
That's sad. So, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard in my life. All right. If you want to look physical, you can invest in baseball cards. My God, Tim. You can invest in baseball cards, and it's actually a really good way of investing in something that's physical. You look at like what Mickey Mantle rookies or Michael Jordan rookie cards have done over the last, 10 years? That's a pretty good investment. If you could have gotten in on those 5-10 years ago, and actually it's really, I don't know if that's a good investment or not. It was a great speculation, right? And that's the hard thing about this. Even people who are in the business, we do interchange the word speculation and investment in the same sentence, and it's hard to tease those away from each other because they are so close to each other. But just understand that Tim buying a Mickey Mantle rookie card is a speculation that on December 8th, 2023, it's going to be worth more on December 8th, 2027. He would be speculating that. Because the reality is the baseball market could collapse. And, that Mickey Mantle rookie that he spends $100,000 on today could be worth $10,000 in 4 years. Not that that's ever going to happen, but there is a likelihood to that. There's no guarantee that it won't happen. So speculation and investment are words that are interchanged all the time, but there are subtle nuances between the two. And for our seasoned stackers out there, this is old hat for you, but for new people that are coming into the market, it's something to consider. Gold and silver are not an investment. It's a speculative device that's great for diversifying your portfolio. And I had this conversation with a gentleman yesterday. Comes in and he's like, I want to invest $200,000, I think it was the number he used, in gold. And I'm like, well, you're not investing, you're speculating. And this would have been his first purchase. Like, don't jump all in like that. Back it out. Buy $10,000 worth, buy $20,000 worth, something like that first. Get your feet wet, wait a year or two, see if it makes sense for you to move forward after that point, investing deeper. So it's just keep that in mind. I want to make a video about that because we have been getting a lot of people in the shop lately kind of confusing and blurring those lines. So I'm a firm believer in precious metals, physical precious metals. I'm not a firm believer in things like a SLV or any kind of fund backed by them, but I am a firm believer in physical because I think physical is a great way to diversify your portfolio. And so what's the right percentage? It's different from everybody. What percentage of your portfolio, let's say you're worth, your portfolio is $1 million. What percentage should you be investing or speculating, right? with gold and silver, or physical, let's put it that way. That's different for everybody. The old mantra was 5 to 10%, and that may be perfect for certain people. Other people want to maybe be heavier in physical. Maybe they really do believe, that the zombies are coming and the banks are going to collapse. And that's another form of speculation, right? Do I think any of that's going to happen? No, not at all. But can I say it's not going to happen? Of course not, right?
You just did say it's not going to happen.
Well, I don't believe it's going to happen, but at the end of the day, I can't categorically say it won't happen. So, I'm speculating that the banks are going to be there, and the ability to use cash and them to have cash is always going to be there. So, the 80% of the households in this country have bank accounts. It's real close to that, right? That's what, at least that's what Google tells us. So that means 20% of the households in this country do not have bank accounts. So, and that number is probably going to increase over time because banks have become more rigid, and I don't want to say this, who they're going to do business with based on a person's background and what their financial history is. So just for the simple fact that if 20% of households don't have bank accounts in the United States anymore, means there has to be cash, right? How else are that 20% going to transact and contribute to commerce in the United States? So, and 20% is a huge number. You take a fifth of away of anything, and chances of it failing are substantially higher. You take a fifth away you take 20% of business away from a coin shop like mine, we're done. So it's 20% being removed from anything is a huge loss. And that number I do believe is going to get higher. We see that with how hard it is, just all the hoops you got to jump through to get a loan in this country. Tim recently purchased a home. How many hoops did you have to jump through just to get a simple, a 20-year mortgage?
Yeah, it was an experience.
It was a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah, I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, even 10 years ago when I bought this place, I couldn't even use my own bank, which is Wells Fargo, because the hoops that they were trying to make me jump through was ridiculous, and it was infuriating. So I had to go with a smaller lender, and it was a lot more streamlined. So, but those lenders are going away, right? And it's it's becoming more big bank, box store type mentality in the banking industry, which they are very rigid when it comes to handing out money and allowing people to have accounts. So it's 20% of the households in America don't have a bank account right now. It means that cash is going nowhere. That's my opinion. And so that means that you're always going to be able to get cash. You're always going to have it available. So please don't think that you got to buy precious metals because, hey, there's not going to be any greenbacks out there. I want to use silver dimes and quarters to buy a gallon of milk at Publix or wherever your local supermarket is. Because if it really did get to that point, there's not going to be a supermarket. You're not going to be able to get your prescription medication. So that's going to keep you alive, So I mean, it'll be beyond that. So do I think it's ever going to happen? No, not at all. But back to what I was saying is the point of this video is just understand that when you purchase precious metals, you're not investing. You are speculating that at some point in time, it's going to be worth more than what you're paying for it right now, or you're diversifying your portfolio to mitigate your digital risk. You think that makes sense, Tim?
That makes sense.
Is there anything that what I'm saying there isn't clear? That if somebody that has very little to no experience buying gold or silver wouldn't understand?
I'm pretty sure we'll get comments.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who tune into this channel are seasoned stackers. So to you guys and gals out there, feel free to comment and fill in any gaps that I may have left out here, or answer people's questions that we'll be posting here, because obviously there's people that are watching these channels that have 20, 30, 40 years of experience in stacking precious metals. So, and I will say that I, being in this industry, have probably dealt with more people who actually are on the negative side of when it comes time to selling their precious metals than on the positive side, and I mean that financially. And a large part of that is because they didn't financially strategically plan for when life goes wrong. So if you are, you got $1 million portfolio and you're putting, let's just say 10% of that into precious metals, well, that's something that you really need to kind of have mapped out and say, okay, well, if the water heater goes out, if the car breaks down, am I still got funds available that I can take care of this if I get sick? What is there still money, income, whatever to take care of this, or am I going to fall back onto my precious metal stack? Because when people run into that situation when they are falling back on the precious metal stack, they most likely lose. That's the reality of it. So especially when you bring in inflation and you think about it that way. So if you're making a sizable purchase, I want to say the word investment, right? It's not, but you're speculating with a large amount of money. Make sure that your CPA understands what you're doing. Get advice from there. Make sure that your attorney who's managing your trust is aware of what you're doing, and he or she can give you great advice too on how to handle those situations. Also, make sure, this is a part of the conversation I had with the gentleman yesterday. He was asking, well, when it comes time to selling, what kind of reporting laws am I going to be subjected to? Which is a great question. A lot of people don't think about that when they're buying, because buying anything is the easiest part. It comes time to selling it is when things can become interesting. And I said, in the state of Florida, there's no reporting laws on anything U.S. coin related. So you'll never have to. You could sell your U.S. gold eagles or silver eagles, for example, without any kind of reporting laws at all. And you can just come in, sell for cash or whatever, and go away. And I don't need to know your name or anything up until a certain point. And but that is not true in other states. Some states have reporting laws on U.S. coins, on generic bullion, on foreign coins. And that's just part of their state statutes. And so if you're living in one of those states, you need to understand, okay, if it's important to you that the government not know that you are buying and then therefore at some point in time selling your precious metals, you might understand what your state's laws are when it comes time to that, what the buyer of those, your coin shop guy, your pawn shop guy, your jeweler, whoever, has to follow to satisfy the law, because they're going to follow the law, whatever that is, whether it makes sense to you or not. And I had that conversation with another gentleman yesterday. He's like, I don't understand why you got to do this. It's like, it doesn't matter whether you understand it or not. I have to do it, or I'll be in trouble. And that's just the reality of it. So, and every state has little nuances in their statute about what they have to do as a business to legally satisfy those laws when it comes time to reporting precious metals transactions. So that's something you definitely want to talk to your local guy. That's why we always hammer, try to do business with your LCS, because they will be the ones that you're most likely going to want to sell back to at some point in time. And they're going to be a wealth of knowledge when it comes time for you to sell, because they're the ones that are going to be handling and abiding by whatever the state statutes are. So just keep that in mind. Anything we want to add to this, Tim?
So speculating versus investing and knowing your state's laws.
Yeah, and understanding that buying gold and silver is not an investment. It's a speculation and a diversification tool. That's what stacking is. So just want to make that clear. And if you're not sure about that and it still doesn't make sense to you, spend time online. If you're going to, especially if you're going to make a sizable purchase, really do your due diligence. What's the most people's major purchase in life? It's a home, right? Most people don't just purchase a home sight unseen. Most people don't do that, right? They'll have an inspection. There'll be a title search. There'll be title insurance purchased on it. There's all these steps that go through purchasing a home. And there's a good reason for that, right? Everyone needs to know who's involved with purchasing a home, whether it's the bank or the actual buyers, that everything makes sense with this piece of property. And purchasing precious metals for you should be the same thing. So make sure it makes sense for you. Make sure you understand the laws when it comes time to selling it and for wherever you live, and understand what it actually is that you're buying, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And whether you're doing it for diversification reasons or you're speculating, hey, I do think the zombies are coming and gold's going to be 10,000 and silver is going to be 200. Okay. That's understandable. And understandable. The reverse is very likely too. I mean, it wasn't too long ago, 3 years ago, when COVID started, silver was $12 an ounce. So, and now it's $23, $24 an ounce. It could go right back down. Do I think it's going to go back to those levels? Probably not. Could we see $20 an ounce silver? Oh, absolutely. So, could we see $1,500 gold? Yeah, we could. And there's a real likelihood of that at some point in time. So you have to understand all that before you just jump in and be like, hey, this is my lottery ticket and I'm going to get rich buying this stuff. So I just want to make this video because this week 4 or 5 different new people have come in and kind of didn't quite understand what they were getting into. So we just want to make this, and hopefully this clarifies it for the new people that are interested in stacking. And like I said, if I missed anything here, I glossed over from our seasoned stackers, please feel free to pipe up and put your 2 cents into the comment section. And we are located at 5324 Spring Hill Drive in sunny Spring Hill, Florida. I think it's going to be wet Spring Hill, Florida this weekend, but it's supposed to be back in the 80s. So, and we are open for business Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. If there's anything we can do for you, please let us know. We'll be happy to help. And we're always shipping throughout the country. We accept payment via cash, wire, Zelle, or personal checks up to $5,000. Just remember, on checks, we do hold them for 2 weeks before we ship the product, just to make sure that they securely clear. Anything to add, Tim?
Make sure you give us your address when you send us money, because otherwise we think it's part of the coffee fund.
Yeah, we need to know where to ship your goods at, guys. Well, anything else, guys, please reach out to the shop, and I hope you guys have a great weekend, and we will see you Monday morning. Thank you.